Hey, what is up guys? So with the official release of some Doctor Strange photos, we of course got a good look at Doctor Strange himself, played by Benedict Cumberbatch. Now the important thing that a lot of people are trying to focus on and figure out is just what is the medallion around his neck, what is that going to be, and is it a hint at something we're going to be getting in the movie that's going to play a larger role in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe? Well, I'm here to just, talk about that and give you my thoughts on it, so let's get into that. Now I do want to say this is all speculation. I don't know much. I'm just using all this knowledge that I have written down regarding everything. And it should be noted, I was one of the people pushing that the Tesseract was going to be one of the stones, and a lot of people were saying it wasn't until it was revealed that it was in fact the one I was saying it was. Yeah, I don't have any insider knowledge. I'm just using, basic knowledge of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and seeing kind of what they're hinting at with these. So if I guess anything, that's all I'm doing is actually guessing and speculating, and hopefully I turn out to be right. So for this part of the video, we are going to be focusing on just one aspect, and it's of course what is around his neck, this medallion. So going deeper into a look at it, we see that it is tinted green. And another aspect of it is that it is shaped like an eye. Not like the letter I, I mean like your physical eye, your eyeball, your eye socket has the same exact shape, which is actually going to factor into my theory. Now before we get into this, I do have to talk about some of the other stones just to set up the, what I'm going to be talking about. So first is going to be the Space Stone, which was of course the Tesseract originally. The next one is the Mind Stone, which of course we last saw actually as part of Vision, so Thor entrusts him to pretty much guard over it with his life, which literally he has to because it is the thing that gave him life. Next up is the Reality Stone. We of course saw this in Thor the Dark World, and it's pretty much what it says, the Reality Stone. And we know it is the Reality Stone because of the use, of course, Malekith was going to use it to control all 9 realms and everything like that. It does in the movie appear as a liquid, but of course it is going to get solidified. So, and the last up is of course the Power Stone, which we last saw in Guardians of the Galaxy, which my speculation is still that the Novas are going to experiment with it on Nova Prime and give us the actual Nova Force, which will consist of some people that are actually Nova. But, that's a story for another day, and I've already covered that at some aspects, so now we can get into what I believe is coming up next. And down the road, what is coming up is, of course, Avengers Infinity War, and as the title suggests, it is going to be the fight for the Infinity Stones, aka also the Infinity Gauntlet. So just by using some very simple detective work, I can pretty much assume that we are going to get all the Infinity Stones already all in front of us by the end of the first Avengers Infinity War movie. Which brings me to the next part of the video where we're going to talk about the 2 missing stones that we haven't seen already, which are going to be the Time Gem and the Soul Gem. But now remember that the colors actually don't really matter when it comes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And what I mean by that is, we've heard before, and this was confirmed by James Gunn, that originally their stone was supposed to be, a different color, and it was changed due to conflicts with Thor the Dark World. So they kind of wing this at the wall and go, yeah, whatever, we'll change it in post-production. Because in the long run, it really didn't matter up until these, movies started to actually hint towards the Infinity Gauntlet being all put together and what stone would represent what in what movie. Which brings us to talk about the Time Gem, which I believe is not going to be involved in Doctor Strange. I believe that is being saved for the Avengers Infinity War, because what's bigger and what's the biggest stakes than some villain getting all these stones and literally altering the fabric of time so no superheroes existed, so he can conquer the galaxy. Which brings me to Doctor Strange again, and finally we're here going to talk about my theory that the stone that is actually in his medallion is the Soul Stone. And I reach at this conclusion not just because, hey, it's green, look, it kind of makes a connection here, because as we all know, and if you guys, kind of follow what happens around the earth and everything like that, there's an old saying that the eyes are the gateway to the soul, which if you remember earlier in the video, I mentioned that the medallion looks like an eye. So before I continue with this, I'm going to describe what the Soul Stone actually is and what it can do. So the Soul Stone in the comics is actually sentient, and it has a desire to collect souls. The gem actually protects the person wearing it from soul-based attacks. The person that actually wields the Soul Gem can actually access the memories and skills of the ones that have been imprisoned by it. And the gem can also be used to reveal information by peering into another person's soul. So as you can tell, it is a pretty damn powerful artifact, and Doctor Strange using it would actually make a lot of sense. Now, we do know that, Doctor Strange is going to be altering realities and kind of looking into different dimensions, which, once again, it cannot be the stone we've already seen before in Thor the Dark World. It can't be the Reality Stone because that just wouldn't make sense. It's already been used. And one, the color is completely off. Which, once again, leads me to believe that this is, of course, the Soul Stone, and we are going to see, Doctor Strange fight whoever his foe is in this movie. Now, to me, I'm going to believe it is going to be Baron Mordo that does turn into a villain, of course, and he is going to be helped by another being. This being Dormammu, who is also working alongside with Thanos to get all the stones. Dormammu wanting the stone so he can break out of the reality and, where he's trapped and kind of use that to his own advantage, and Thanos has been kind of promising him that, we'll figure this out, right, once we get all the stones. And like I said before, this, of course, to me, reaffirms what I believe, that you can't be possibly the Time Stone because you want the highest stakes of the entire universe to be controlled in a movie where all the heroes have to come together and fight for something, which is, of course, Thanos preventing altering the past so, the timeline can be skewed. Just my theory, just like this entire video. There are a few facts, such as, which stone is what, that is known. But other than that, that is everything I have. So, you guys let me know your thoughts on what I said here, and what do you guys think about, the stones? What do you think Doctor Strange is going to be about? So thank you for watching the video, and if you guys like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you haven't already, check out some of these other great videos we have on the channel. Just click the annotation right there, it'll take you to them. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a good one.